I liked the premise, but it took, how do I say this? It didn't take me out of the movie, but I thought it was interesting that everybody was just accepting of this magic. You know, like there was just magic happening in their life. Not that it was a bad thing, not that it like ruined the movie, but I thought that was one thing that's interesting.
If you're hearing this, we thank you for pressing play on another edition of It's a Streamable Life podcast with Brandon and Lorin. We come to you on our first episode for the new month of August. We are winding down with summer and things are heating up with a bunch of rain.
Yeah, so too much rain.
Yeah, all at once. I guess it's like the rain we were supposed to get all happening within the last few days. I don't know. It was insane. We get
a few nice days here, so that's good. But yeah, it's been not good with rain.
Yeah. When I saw the water in the convention center, I was like, "Wow, that's a lot happening."
And genuinely, it was so nuts because I was sitting here, and the tornado sirens go off, and while it was sunny, while it was stormy, it was still kind of like bright. It didn't look tornadic. And then they go, "Oh yeah, the tornado, we see rotations south of the convention center." I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what?
That's wild.
Yeah.
We just had so much rain here. Certain spots were flooding near bridges and stuff. And they were supposed to have a whole Jubilee Days in Hagerstown, which is about maybe 20 minutes from here. And they said rain or shine. I think some things moved inside, but there's really a bunch of outside activity that got rerouted. So
wow.
We have a full episode this week as a lot is happening. But our feature presentation will focus on the horror breakout film from Curry Barker's Obsession. It's become sort of like an anomaly in the movie sphere area. Not only was it original story, but original horror story that sort of broke through and is causing a stir at the theaters for a pretty good few months for the box office. But we'll get into that a little bit later. First up in our headlines, San Diego Comic-Con did take place 2 weekends ago now. And that's basically when a bunch of people gather at the San Diego Convention Center, whether it be TV or movie, people announce certain projects headed. It was famously where the MCU announced, their original saga plan back in the good days. Less frequent visits now, just because people hold their own announcement festivals and stuff like that. But there were still some pretty good announcements. So Marvel did return to Hall H. That's the biggest convention venue there, with some announcements. Not as many as people expected, with all the swirl around, the X-Men and Secret Wars, Doomsday. Things were a bit more limited. So first up, they did release the Doomsday trailer days ahead of the convention. So that was already out the way.
Okay.
But they did announce that Ryan Gosling will be starring in a Ghost Rider film directed by Sean Levy. For those who are unfamiliar, Ghost Rider is a character who makes basically a deal with the devil, becomes sort of like a demonic chasing being on a motorcycle. There was a film with Nicolas Cage decades ago. The most recent on-screen iteration was Gabriel Luna in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He portrayed Robbie Reyes, which is a certain type of Ghost Rider. This one will be the classic comic version with Gosling starring. So that's coming down the pipeline. And the other biggest news was Black Panther 3 will be arriving in December of 2028. And the new Black Panther was cast as David Johnson of industry fame. He was in Alien Romulus, The Long Walk, and most recently Wasted Man. So he'll be playing Prince T'Challa grown up. And people had tons of questions. How does this work in the timeline? How are we jumping this year's blah, 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 blah. It's all make-believe, people. Get a grip.
I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, he's an excellent actor.
Yep.
Ryan Coogler is at the helm, Oscar-winning Ryan Coogler. But it did bring up a lot of conversations from the Black populace of Marvel fans. The we always return to the quote unquote dilemma of hiring Black British actors to portray quote unquote Black American roles. We've
Yeah.
seen it done with actual historical figures, Martin Luther King,
Right.
um, other Harriet Tubman, so on and so forth. And now it's kind of weighted itself into any type of role now. If it's not a Black American, we're upset. We're stealing roles from them and whatnot. What's your perspective on that sort of dilemma or problem that people seem to be fixated on?
I think it's stupid. I've seen it too, and well, I can understand why somebody could be like skeptical of this. Something happened in the background where they would think Black British actors are preferred to Black American ones. I don't think it's that because you think we don't see that many Black British actors. We're seeing like the same handful. It's like less than 10, and we see them a lot. But again, for Black actors, while these big movies are nice, that's not all we do. You have a BT shows. You have different Black shows everywhere, and so no, I just don't understand that argument. I think it's um, and with historic figures,
Yeah,
they had Don Cheadle playing who? I mean, he
the
was in
guy from
Hotel Rwanda.
Hotel
It was good.
Rwanda. Yeah.
Will
So yeah,
Smith was yeah
yeah, that was egregious, and no
right
one seemed to say anything. So
at
yeah,
all.
I think we've taken the advocacy for representation a bit too far.
Right,
Yes, we want more people, maybe authentic to the experience, to play certain roles when it comes to LGBTQ plus
right.
representation. Let's go outside of the realm of Black people because we seem to be high on the totem pole in the minority pool already. We could use some more
Right.
Asian American representation, Indigenous
Yeah.
people, countless others. So, especially for a fictional character that does not exist,
Yes, in a fictional land that's not there.
not
Yeah.
real,
Right.
I don't understand us feeling that this man stole a Black American's role. First of all,
No.
Chadwick was Black Panther. Unfortunately, he passed away. Folks were arguing that it wasn't Damson Idris, who is also British. So what are we doing here?
Yeah. And in that cast, wasn't Chadwick Boseman? It's him and Michael B. Jordan, the only ones that are American, right?
Right, you had
Yeah.
Lupita
Yeah.
Nyong'o, who's technically Mexican
Yeah.
American. You had Denai Guerrero, who I think is American. Winston Duke, I think he may be uh, in diaspora. He's not British though. But you
No.
had other British people. You've had other British folks. Yeah, it's about a handful of Black British actors who
Yeah.
unfortunately cannot find work in their home UK, come here and are able to work and produce and whatnot.
Right.
And I don't understand why we can't all just get along.
And
I don't find them participating in these roles as some type of blight on
no,
me as a Black American.
yeah, I find that silly, especially when they're getting hired for these
So
roles by
it's
Black
just very
Americans. I
very
think,
strange.
yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a tired argument at this point.
Yeah.
It's run its course. Let it go. Um,
Please.
And in other news, AMC's Interview with the Vampire slash The Vampire Lestat just wrapped its season. They announced that season 4 will be coming. And it will be called Queen of the Damned. So we will be getting Akasha, who is played by Sheila Atim in this series, another Black British actor who's been working for the past few years to uh, establish a pedigree. Will
Yeah.
be betraying the mother of vampires in the 4th season. So that's
Ooh, that's
exciting.
cool.
And some other news, Prime Video released first footage of its Blade Runner 2099 series, which I completely forgot about. This will star Hunter
Yeah.
Schafer and Michelle Yeoh, or Yao. And then they also premiered the first trailer for Mike Flanagan's Carrie adaptation. So Flanagan's known for Haunting of
Yeah.
Hill House on Netflix, other horror series. So he's going to take on the iconic Stephen King story in a modern time.
Yeah. I
Um,
I don't really
Go
know
ahead.
about those. The Prime Video is good. They got some good things, but I'm just not confident in their with these two. Carrie, we don't need another remake. Please stop. And then Blade
Yeah,
Runner, I didn't realize this was going to be a series. I didn't know that. So, but that should be
it's been
interesting. But yeah, still, I
gestating.
don't know.
Yeah, it's been gestating for a while, and I remember we
Mm,
just had the film with Ryan Gosling, which kind of came
right.
and went. I feel that's a franchise that they're trying to revitalize when there's so many other new titles in that cyberpunk era that we don't really need to revisit
Exactly.
Blade
Yeah.
Runner again. So
And Blade Runner 2049 was good, but that should have been it. That's the one with Ryan Gosling.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, Apple TV made their Comic Con premiere this year. They had panels representing a bunch of their projects, including Widow's Bay, Silo, and films Mayday and Matchbox the movie. But I was most focused on them releasing the trailer for Neuromancer, which is another
Mm,
cyberpunk sci-fi
yep.
series that will star Callum Turner. It's based on a novel where in this dystopian future, hackers sort of covet um, information and stuff in sort of like a matrixy world that is accessed through your brain.
Yeah.
So he'll star as a one of these hackers that's been tagged to find information or something for a high price. The trailer looked bomb. I'm
Yeah.
not familiar with the material, but Apple has not missed with the
Oh,
sci-fi.
the book Neuromancer is from William Gibson, and this honestly, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a book that kicked off cyberpunk. Or
Yeah.
it's one of the bigger ones, or so.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's fame. I've read it, and yeah, this looks good. So I'm curious to see how it turns out.
Yeah, and this will come early next year, so we still have a long while to go. In more recent news, Marvel has had quite a week.
Mm,
First, it was announced that the second season of Wonder Man is not happening. So, after the critical acclaim for the series, it earning an Emmy nomination for both Yahya Abdul Mateen II and Ben Kingsley, and them greenlighting the show for a second season. Schedule's been made. Writers' room getting ready to get together. The first episode written by showrunner Andrew Guest. Marvel and Disney decided that this will no longer be happening, and the reaction has been pretty visceral online, um, especially from again the Black Marvel fans who are calling out Marvel and their underappreciation of Black-led projects, which
yeah,
I think is a very more solid case than Diaspora Wars about casting.
right.
So, even though Wonder Man premiered earlier this year, it kind of flipped the canon on a character who isn't that popular, but he's a struggling actor who just happens to be hiding superpowers.
Yeah,
And he goes on this journey of self discovery. And it was an excellently written, excellently acted. Originally a limited series, I thought, but the second season was coming. Sure, fine. Give it to me. But it is now canceled. Um, but fans are calling foul, saying that Marvel has intentionally or non-intentionally sabotage their black-led projects. So you have Wonder Man canceled. You had the under marketing of Ironheart, which I thought was really good.
yeah,
Um, they feel like um, Anthony Mackie's Captain America has been sidelined because we see Steve Rogers return in Doomsday. You have Armor Wars that's supposed to have Don Cheadle. That never happened. The canceled Dora Milaje project. Eyes of Wakanda, which was a short animated series, was very poorly marketed. And I can't argue with it. It seems to be a pattern. And someone brought up a good point that this keeps happening because they regulated most of their Black and POC characters to television where
yeah,
Marvel's focus was not 100%. And
right.
this is this what happens? So I'm not sure
That's
where they go
interesting.
from here. Oh, and of course, the most egregious was the cancellation of Blade, which was
Yeah,
to star Mahershala Ali, and he came forward with a statement saying that he was under contract for 7 years, and if they wanted to do it, they would have done it.
yeah, no, definitely.
So, yeah, it's a very strenuous time for Marvel. Halfway. But
Right,
there was some good news this weekend. Spider-Man: Brand New Day finally came out on July 31st, and has topped the box office with the second biggest weekend opening of all time, only second to Avengers: Endgame. So we're at this point, the top three biggest box office openings are all Disney's Marvel properties.
right. It's crazy.
So it premiered to a whopping it was projected like 163 million just Friday alone, but worldwide it's like
It was like I checked it.
900
It
million something.
it's world domestic. It was like 355, and the worldwide it was 927, which is
Yeah, which is
insane.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it scored 90% Rotten Tomatoes. That's the highest score for a Spider-Man film and an MCU film. Tom Holland returns, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed episodes of Wonder Man, and he was directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, was another surprise success for the MCU.
yeah,
I saw it this weekend. It's very enjoyable, very good.
that's good.
Um, I'm excited to see where it goes next. I will say the magic of the MCU just isn't the same. Like it peaked with Infinity War Endgame. Like they're
Yeah,
not going to find that magic again. So now it's just sort of like you you enjoy it the way you enjoy it, and they're just regular movies now. It's just not.
right,
I know they're trying to chase that same euphoric feeling, but it can't come back. So
right, right. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And lastly, in news, this was a subject that we both discussed previously, and
Hmm.
surprisingly, it came up again in a group chat I'm in. Um, there was, I guess, growing public concern regarding Ariana Grande's physical health, mostly because of her physical appearance. We know that she has always been petite.
Yeah,
She had
she's small.
always small. But people felt that had reached sort of like a concerning point recently.
Right.
And her team announced that she is stepping away from public life as the concerns grew. So after her tour wraps up, she'll be going on some type of hiatus or whatnot. Um, we all don't want to comment on people's physical appearance because we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. But there is
Exactly.
a point where there needs to be some type of intervention or call within, because people aren't
Yeah.
just criticizing you because you look bad. They're criticizing you because they're afraid what could come.
Right. Right. And yeah, it definitely is worrying. And like you said, you don't want to comment on people's appearances because I think, well, the biggest one would be Chadwick Boseman, when everybody was making comments and nobody really knew the truth. But yeah, and I think the most important thing is if something is wrong, then hopefully she can get the help that she needs to get better.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I had people comparing it to the woman from the Carpenters, how no one spoke
Oh,
out
yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
about her, and she unfortunately perished to
Yep. That's how she passed away.
anorexia. So
Yeah.
we know there's pressure in the industry, especially for women to look a certain way. And I'm sure she's heard these things before, but it has reached a point where it's past
Right.
sort of like celebrity gossip to a point of actual health concern. So,
Right. Right. Right.
best wishes to Ariana Grande. Switching over to trailer things, we got two big trailers that premiered in the past few weeks. First up was Children of Blood and Bone, which was the
Yes.
adaptation of the Tony, I'm going to mispronounce her last name, Adeyemi, something like that.
Adeyemi. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Adeyemi. Yeah. Based on her books. It's a fantastical a story about a young girl who discovers she has magic in her fantasy African nation,
Hmm.
but magic has been banished, and she's going to be fighting an evil king or regime to sort of replenish the magic to her people.
Right.
It has an all-star cast from Viola Davis to Idris Elba, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Cynthia Erivo, Damson Idris, Lashana Lynch. Basically, all the black people that are constantly
Right.
working are there. Um, it looks good to me. What were your thoughts on the trailer?
Yeah. I remember hearing about the book and kind of seeing the fanfare, but I didn't know much about what it was. And then I looked it up. That the author is only 33. I was like, oh, damn. Um,
Yeah, she's really young.
but yeah, no, it looks interesting. Kind of look, I wouldn't say similar to some things we've seen, but like had the essence of other movies. You know, you see a little bit of, I feel like Black Panther, a little bit of kind of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Avatarish and this and so. But no, it looked interesting. I think definitely worth seeing.
Yeah, so that's it's set for 2027 as well. And it did not come without controversy. The author has
Mm.
come out saying that she will no longer support the film after some type of incident on set that left her emotionally drained. She
Mm.
has not declared exactly what happened, so people are feeling a bit skeptical. The film has been directed by Gina. Oh Lord, Gina Price Wood, Gina Prince Bythewood, who
Okay.
directed the Netflix movie that everyone likes with Charlize Theron. I
Uh,
forget it now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a black female director whose work is very esteemed. So a lot of people might say that the author was possibly unaware of what creative control she relinquishes when a production company purchases her
Yeah.
IP for film. Um, and Gina said she was involved with the casting in every which way, so we're not exactly sure what transpired to make her say these things. But people plan to support the film because they want to see more of this sort of representation on screen.
Exactly.
So I'm looking forward to it. The second trailer was another 2027 project coming from Michael B. Jordan. He not only directs, executive produces, but stars in this new adaptation of the Thomas Crown Affair. Um, we don't get much from the trailer that was
Right.
released. His narration, him racing the cars and the suits, and some of his co-stars, but we get the gist. If you're familiar with the Thomas Crown Affair, I believe the last film was in the 90s that starred Pierce Brosnan
Right.
and
Yeah.
another woman, Renee, someone I'm forgetting. But basically, it's sort of like a romance thriller about the thief who steals art.
Right.
There was also a film back in the like 60s as well.
Right. Right. It looked
Yeah,
pretty
but this is
interesting.
coming from
I think
yeah,
it could be enjoyable.
I,
So yeah, okay.
yeah, and I feel like he's sort of built enough cash to where he can call the shots on what
Right.
project he's develops. He's also an Oscar winner now, so he's able to steer his career in the way he wants to. So I'm excited
Exactly.
for him. I'm looking forward to it as well. Those are all the headlines, and we're now going to transition into our feature presentation, where we're discussing a young filmmaker, Curry Barker's new horror film, Obsession. So first, one thing, I gotta grab my phone. Okay. So first is, of course, the box office success was sort of like a breakout for the
Right.
movie, which did not make, which did not cost a lot to make.
Right.
Um, but it came out a few weeks ago now.
Yeah. It came
Um,
out
well,
just
actually,
before Backrooms, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, yeah. And this was actually filmed last year. So, it's directed by Curry Barker, and it stars Michael Johnson and Indy Navarrete, who are the main stars. Yeah, the budget was $750,000. It's made to
Wow.
date 474 million.
Damn.
So it's become a breakout hit for the year.
Hmm.
Um, basically, it's about a young man who pines over a friend of his for a relationship. And instead of being um, honest about his feelings, he discovers a magic gem that gives him one wish, and he wishes for this friend to love him more than anything in the world. Unfortunately, like they say, you have to be careful what you wish
Right.
for. So, what were your initial thoughts on
Right.
Obsession, which is now streaming on Peacock?
Okay. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. Um, I mm, I liked the premise, but it took, how do I say this? It didn't take me out of the movie, but I thought it was interesting that everybody was just accepting of this magic. Like there was just magic happening in their life. Not that it was a bad thing, not that it like ruined the movie, but I thought that was one thing that's interesting. Um, but as for, yeah, again, the premise, the acting, all of that was very good. It's a very dark movie in terms of actual like visually. It's like everything is in the dark, which is kind of helps and sets the mood to the movie. And one thing I kept thinking while I was
Yeah.
watching it was, I think a lot of the hype around this movie is because when you watch it, it's a movie that would be very good in a communal setting, like a movie theater. And I think you can spread word of mouth because it hits different this in your living room. But overall, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was fine. I think the experience would have been different in a movie theater. You
Yeah,
get the like the communal experience, all everyone sort of jumping and
right,
shouting at the same scenes. Um, yeah, I thought it was fine. I agree. It was a dark film. You're squinting a lot, trying to see what is
yeah,
happening on screen, and I do think purposely. This kind of came to me after watching it. Some of the scenes where Indy's character Nikki is in like complete darkness, it's just her silhouette.
yeah,
It, I think that was to signify like sort of like the void of the actual person she used to be,
right,
somewhat.
right,
And we'll get into that later, but I think that was a nice artistic way to sort of convey that.
right.
Um, but overall, I thought it was fine. I didn't get into it as much as everyone else.
Yeah,
While I'm a horror fan, I like more, I guess, psychological, this could happen horror. So even if the stone wasn't there and it was more like a Fatal Attraction
right.
esque thriller kind of horror thing, that would be more of my
Yeah,
judge, I
yeah, I
guess.
can see that. Yeah,
But let's go ahead and get into the plot and some character breakdown. So, like we said, this film stars Michael Johnson and Indy Verrete. Johnson plays a young adult named Bear, and Verrete is his best friend Nikki. And for years, he sort of has felt this unrequited love for her, and he plans to share that with her because she's about to move
right,
and he's running out of time. And at the opportunity to sort of have this exchange, he still sort of doesn't do it, but instead wishes for her to be in love with him more than anything else in the world. And when at first he doesn't think this works,
right,
but it does. They fall in love, but gradually the love turns into something very unhealthy and unsafe for everyone in Bear's orbit.
right.
Um, So the plot is very straightforward, just like the film. They kind of get to the point very quickly, and it escalates. I would say rather quickly. I think that was
Yeah. Oh yeah.
um, one of my dislikes is just how quickly it escalates. I wanted to see more life happening, more like a slow burn type
Yeah.
gradual descent into the crazy, but it just happened literally within minutes, and then I don't know, maybe a few weeks, this all combusts. I don't know.
Right. And I also got confused on how old they were supposed to be at one time, and because they were living on their own, and they had all these other things, but then they were, um, I just thought they were teenagers because they're like where are they working? I couldn't even
Yeah,
tell
it
what
looked
the
like a repair shop.
yeah. And then the one girl, she was trying to get into school. So yeah, in my mind, I thought, oh, maybe they're 20, whatever. But um,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. You can go back to what you're saying. That's just something else that kind of caught me.
Yeah, yeah, because Bear had a whole house, which I thought he's not in an
Exactly. Yeah.
apartment. Yeah,
Right.
it was
Yeah.
very, very strange. So yeah, you have Bear, Nikki, who seems to be sort of before the transformation, level headed. She seems
Hmm.
focused. She was leaving this job for better pastures, evidently. And in some ways, Bear traps her in this sort of
Right. Yeah.
magical curse, which reveals that a lot. I guess there were a lot of discussion and disagreements that Bear is the villain here. He was too
Yeah.
insecure to actually pronounce his feelings, and instead of just saying how he's felt and then moving on, he plays this game to where not
Right.
only does he see that it's not healthy, but then he just lets it happen.
Captain.
So as we said, like this will be this has been spoiler free. We're going to get into spoilers now, so just if you haven't seen it, you can just fast forward whatnot. But so the wish is granted, and things escalate mighty fast to
Yeah.
where she initially just wants to be, friends, and sending him to the friend zone to ask him to come in the home, and then when that doesn't
Yeah.
work, staying at his place and then never leaving.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the levels of which her obsession reached, and did they work for you? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think they were good, and I think they worked for me because there were some of them that were even while they weren't scary, they were hard to watch because it's just kind of like repetitive behavior, kind of. I don't know. When the one that got me, it didn't like make me stop it, but when they're in that restaurant and he comes back and he says, "Is your dad really dying of cancer?" And then she stands up and starts to like scream, or she keeps saying no and no and no and no, and so things like that. But then, yeah, the obsession part. I think the other one that stuck out to me was the duct tape because you don't see it until he sees it, and it's like, oh damn.
Right.
But but yeah, no, I think the film went. I did a good job of driving home the point of her obsession.
Yeah, for me, I feel that that's where I kind of lost, not realm of reality, but just sort of like
Right.
lost interest, to where I felt some of the behavior wasn't necessarily based on her obsession.
Right.
She just became unhinged, to where like the question about her father, like, first of all, why are you lying about, like, I
Right.
didn't understand where that came from. And then her reaction to it, I saw, her taping the door, her not allowing him to leave or be without him. We
Yeah.
saw that reach a very unhealthy levels, her, urinating, storing on herself,
Right.
other bodily functions just unabound when he wasn't around. Um, and then in public, of course, like at the party scene,
Hmm.
the threat of other alleged, potential love interests, all that made sense. But some of it was just a little
Much.
too too much, and I didn't see the
Hmm.
linkage in the plot. Like, for instance, the thing with the cat. What was going on?
Yeah, I don't really get that because yeah, again spoilers, but the cat dies, and that's the only reason I can think the cat died was to have this whole. I mean, the cat died by taking oxycodone. Then she comes to his life, cooks the cat, and then he tries to overdose on the oxycodone. So maybe the cat and that whole thing was just there for that matter. I don't know, but yeah, I did think that was a little strange as well, just kind of tossed in there.
Yeah, like she cooks the cat for him to eat. Like, what part of that?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I'm sure somewhere. For example, Fatal Attraction, Glenn Close famously kills the pet bunny. Okay, that's
Right.
deranged behavior. She has like revenge, whatnot. But this is like the first day into their relationship, and she cooks and kills his cat for lunch. Well, not
Yeah,
kills, but cooks the cat for his lunch. Why?
yeah,
So
and
like some of it didn't make total sense if you're going to be obsessed with somebody. I didn't.
yeah. And I think the other thing for me, and it's not that I need everything spelled out for me, but it was also so strange to have this movie based on him making a wish and not really explaining the magic or what it was or what's possessed her and all this
Mm-hmm.
other stuff. You just go along with it, which I mean, you only got so much time in a movie, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it
I
was
don't know.
very sort of like 80s
Yes,
whimsical because we know the 80s always had, make a wish at a genie machine or on this
right,
gemstone or on the star or whatever. And there were, of course, I guess, urban myths to these items and how they
yeah,
worked. And he was searching Reddit and whatnot. Um, but yeah, it was very, very loose
yeah.
on
That's a great
that.
way to explain it. Yeah.
Um, and then, her obsession escalates to where she's not only harming herself, but others. She takes out the other friend who Bear clearly has feelings for as well.
Hmm.
And I saw that coming. Like,
Yeah, that was pretty.
that entire scene, yeah, I was just waiting for it to happen. But it comes to a head when we previously learned that the only way the obsession ends is when he dies. Like
Right.
the wisher has to die for obsession to end. And it comes to the point where Bear is ready to make that choice. Nikki has somehow bound the dead corpse of their former friend in the home and
Yeah.
some other very strange things, and Bear is ready to end it all. And honestly, it's what he deserved.
Yeah, because I I mean, I don't know how you watch this movie and feel sorry for him because obviously, okay, he's sad or whatever, but brother, you brought this upon yourself. Like,
Right,
I mean,
right.
yeah. So no,
Yeah, and I did think the ending scene was very clever because you see him take these medications. First of all, rose this question, which I forgot to ask: whose medicine was that?
I guess his. I don't know.
Because some of the reactors I watched on YouTube like zoomed in, and it had someone else's name on it, so I don't
No, I
know
don't know. Yeah.
whose medicine it was and why it was there. But he decided to take it, um, and
Oh, but you
basically, oh, go ahead.
no. What I was gonna say is no, it's coming back because he has the house because he inherited from his grandmother. So it very well
Okay.
could be her stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. I must have missed that. I forgot that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he takes the meds because at one point he thinks he's going to shoot himself with
Mm-hmm.
this pistol. He decides
Right.
against that. He overdoses on the medication, and for a second, he sort of submits to her, tells her he loves her
Right.
and whatnot, and he dies. And I think this last thing I thought was very clever. Once he succumbs, she wakes up from the spell and is just surrounded by this chaos.
Yeah.
Um, and just ends on her screaming, relenting. Just she's unaware of what's transpired within the last few weeks,
Right.
evidently. So what's your final grade on Barker's obsession?
I would give it a C plus. I think it was very good. Like you, there was a lot of hype around it before seeing it, but it wasn't anything um, new. It wasn't. It didn't reinvent the wheel or anything like that. But it was good. It was enjoyable. It wasn't a bad movie. So yeah, I think a C plus for me is fair.
Yeah, I agree. A C plus is right where I would land it. I think Ivy or Indy was great performance wise.
Hmm.
The other characters they didn't really need much development, but I wish there was a
No,
bit
they were.
more about them. Andy Richter pops up randomly.
Yeah, he's like the record store guy or
in a
something.
few
Yeah,
scenes. Yeah. I thought I will say I thought his friend initially was like a bad bro,
yeah,
but
it seemed like that.
throughout the film he makes a lot of sense and try to
Hmm.
hold Bear accountable. Like Nikki clearly is not herself. Something's going
Right.
on, and you just have her living in your home. I'm not inviting you over until she get like he's making all these very logic cases, and Bear just ignores
Like,
them all.
oh,
So I'm sad in the way he went out. Nikki
right.
basically kills their whole
Everyone.
friend
Yeah.
group. Um, yeah, but yeah, C plus. Definitely enjoyable. Do you see any award speculation for this? Because some folks saying that Indy deserves a nomination for Best Actress or something.
No, no.
Yeah,
Between that and the end of film season, there'll be much better performances. So no, I
yeah,
doubt
yeah.
it.
I think she'll definitely Golden Globes possibly because they like to be goofy. If the MTV VMA Movie Awards still mattered, she definitely be
Right.
over there. But it'll be a standout performance of the year. But I don't see Oscar in this
No,
feature.
not at
But
all.
hopefully, all these folks have a bright future. Ashley Johnson has been cast in the Mummy 4 film, so
Oh wow. Okay,
um,
that's good.
yeah, people are expecting him to be Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz's son, which he does kind of favor Brendan Fraser a
Yeah,
bit.
could see that.
So good for him. Like we said, Obsession is currently streaming on Peacock. You can check it out for yourself and grade it on your own terms. Finally, we got our streams of the week, and we both kind of shared in a new series that returned for its second season. This
Hmm.
is ID Discovery's Killer Among Friends, which you can watch on HBO Max. Um, have you watched the first 2 episodes or just the first?
I just watched the first one.
Okay, same here because I forgot the second
Yeah,
episode came out. Um, but yeah, this is a very kind of niche series, basically true crime series that explores cases where a murder has happened amongst friends, and they kind of have to reveal by the hour's end who was responsible. What did you think about this first episode and the case behind it?
this one didn't have the same amount of suspense or like kind of dread that the others have had. The one that kind of like get on your skin a little bit, like, oh god, this is weird. This one was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it was straightforward, but after a while, it got to a point
You
where
could
I was like,
see,
it was like this is about money, and somebody killed her for money. And what I will say is the way this shit panned out, I was like, hold on a second, because her friend, she just up and spent her money. Like, we won't break it all down, but we know what we're talking about. I was just like, that's insane. And so,
yeah,
yeah, wow, yeah, it's sad for the woman that passed away, but the story leading to that point with her trusting this woman with this large amount of money, the woman then spending that money, the victim needs that money back,
mm-hmm.
and when she asks for it, she is killed by the woman who spent it. It was very, very
Right.
strange.
Very sad. And I actually have seen this story before. It
Okay.
was focused on Dateline Secrets Uncovered on Oxygen. So
Mm,
once the pictures start coming out, it's like, oh, I remember this story. But it's still very unfortunate. Young lady, smart, capable
mhm.
private investigator, going through a divorce, very messy divorce. She decides to remove funds from a joint account with her ex-husband, and she has to hide the money before the proceedings. So she entrusts the funds with a
Right.
friend. This friend spends the money
Yeah.
to entice a boyfriend, on off boyfriend, I
Or
think it
something.
was.
Yeah. It's what she's buying all sorts of
Fund,
stuff.
yeah, just fund his habit. Try to show off to their circle of friends.
Yeah.
And when her friend comes back for the money, she's like, "Oh, I've got it." Strings her along and says, "Meet me here for the money," and kills her,
Yeah.
buries her, and acts like nothing happened. Just where does the concept of murder come in when your only crime is theft? Like, how do you go from
Right.
theft to not to kill you.
Right. It's insane. But
And
yeah.
honestly, she almost got away with it, but
Right.
yeah, it was very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, that one was interesting. And then I've continued to watch the 5 Star Weekend. This is Jennifer Garner's show that is also on Peacock, and I think I'm like on episode 3 now. It's pretty good. Again, the cast is just kind of uh,
Random.
so random, but it works. Like I'm just kind of the one that's killing me is like Chloe 70. I was like, how does Jennifer Gardner know Chloe 70 of all people? She does like
Yeah.
these will far
Very.
out art films and stuff, and but I don't work. It works. It's pretty enjoyable. So yeah, it's good.
That's good to hear because I have not enjoyed Jennifer Garner since Alias, honestly. Like, I didn't picture her to be sort of like this eat, pray, love sort of
Right.
genre, but it's successful because honestly, it looks like one long Capital One commercial. But I
Yeah.
haven't watched. I don't know what it's about.
It feels like a lot of shows that have been on TV before, but it's again, if you need something lighthearted to watch, I guess this would do it.
Right, right. All right, I've been keeping up with a few things. New shows all premiered within the last week or so. First up is Hulu's Fury, which I think you will really enjoy.
Yeah.
It's based on the 1987 film, well, loosely based on the 1987 film called Black Widow. But Emmy Rossum of Shameless fame plays a FBI agent who is tracking a female serial killer. And it really examines how misogyny affects women at all levels of life, whether you're a traffic sex worker or an accomplished homicide detective.
Yeah.
So the subject matter is very heavy. They explore, child trafficking, very, Epstein-ish kind of material, but the performances are really strong. And Rossum is an executive producer on the series as well. So the first 3 episodes
Okay.
are out right now on Hulu, but it's done very well, very good. And the actress that plays the killer is named Lola Pettigrew. She's amazing. So
Okay.
definitely check it out if you want something sort of crime, drama, thriller. New episodes arrive every Wednesday. And then on the other side, Paramount Plus has released the second season of Dear from Detroit. This is a series that was on BT Plus under Paramount Plus umbrella now that follows a divorced school teacher who stumbled upon a missing persons case once her Tinder date disappeared. So in the season 1, she solves the mystery. Season 2, she's trying to juggle this relationship with this man and stumbles into another caper that involves a missing armoire and sort of Detroit uh, local lore. It's a great comedy that mixes sort of true crime mystery with sort of like insecure type comedy.
Cool.
The cast is amazing. You may remember Diara Kilpatrick is her name. You may remember her from Perry Mason. She played Chris Chalk's wife
Yeah.
on the show. So she's great in it. She's the writer and creator of the series. I don't know if we'll get the third season because it took damn near 2 years for this to come out. But it's really enjoyable. It's very funny. The guest stars are great. Felicia Rashad, Glenn Truman, Method Man is in this season. So yeah, the cameos are great, and it's just a really enjoyable watch.
Yeah, that's cool.
The third thing is the second season of Batman Cape Crusader. This is also on Prime Video. Um, it's what you expect. It's a Batman animated series that is set in the sort of 40s aesthetic that the original 90s animated series was set in, but it's more mature. There's some twists on canon characters, but it's very enjoyable. Hamlish
Okay.
Linklater plays the voice of Batman. And this season, we're getting introduced to the Joker, who is voiced by Matthew Needham. You will know him from House of the Dragon. He plays Larry Strong. So this
Cool.
season, violence has escalated in Gotham. Fingers are pointed at Batman as sort of bringing out these crazies. Um, and we eventually will see the Joker kind of take center stage, but they're just gradually sort of piecing him together. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been a great season so far. All episodes are out now. I think there's 10. But yeah, season 2 is out of Batman. So if you're gunning for Batman and we're not getting part 2 of the live action film until 2028, this is a great replacement. Nice short 25-minute episodes. Oh, where'd you go?
I have no clue what's happening to my computer right now.
I mean, I can hear you, but the green went green. Screen went
Yeah.
green. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness gracious, man. Okay, we're good.
Okay. All right. I'm glad we are nearing the end of this episode of
Right.
It's a Triple Life
Right.
podcast with Brandon and Lorin. Um, Join us as we prepare for the fall. It'll be Emmy season pretty soon, and then we'll stumble into award season. So we're trying to keep up with the movies that'll be coming out. Hopefully, the Odyssey comes to streaming soon. That way, I can
Yeah,
pause it and take breaks and whatnot.
exactly.
Um, but yeah, thank you for listening to this episode. And until then, keep on streaming.
Peace.